okay. And I bounced off the steering wheel. I mean, I walked out of it. I was okay. The car was demolished.
You're lucky. You could have got messed up.
But I got sick later on. My nervous system collapsed on me. And I couldn't eat right. I got sick to my stomach all the time for 2 months. It was unbelievable.
What did your dad say about the car?
Yeah, he was more concerned about me,
of course.
He went out and bought me a brand new Mustang after that.
Very nice.
He was a great guy.
Hey, this one from Carolyn in Santa Monica, California. What's the difference between a poltergeist and a ghost, and have you ever seen one?
A poltergeist is more of an upset ghost. It is something that is a little more violent for whatever reason. And no, I've not seen any of those, nor have I seen a ghost. The only thing I've seen strange, years ago, remember I talked about it on the show, those armadillo-type things that went across a road in front of me?
Weird, yeah.
Like shadow, they were shadow things.
Yeah.
Heidi Hollis would love that.
But like the poltergeist, if you hear something in your house, that's the poltergeist, right? Aren't they responsible for the physical?
Well, it depends on what you hear. You mean like, a door cracking open or something like that?
Well, the way I understand it, a ghost doesn't make those kind of sounds. If you hear something, it's a poltergeist.
Well, generally you're right about that. Poltergeists are more into dropping things, making noises, harassment, that kind of thing.
Scary stuff, huh?
It really is. We've still got time for another quick call before the break. Let's go to Wayne in Tacoma, Washington. Hey, Wayne.
Good evening, George. Thank you very much for taking my call.
Boy, your phone's really muddy.
Oh, it is.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
That better?
Yes, much better.
Okay. Wanted to talk a little bit about the less than 2 out of 1 million children in America that have been affected by the virus. Those are the statistics. Actually, as of March of this year, 675 had the virus.
Yep.
So why are they going to inoculate 22 million school children out of the 72 million children of the age from young to 18? It's just crazy to me.
I think it's a money grab myself. This is just the pharmaceutical companies have made a fortune last year on the vaccines. I mean, Pfizer into the billions of dollars. They're all making a lot of money. I think it's a money grab. I was into a discussion with a friend of mine who's been vaccinated. I am not. I think everybody should have the right to decide what they want to do. I'm not opposed to vaccines, but I think I'm opposed to mandates, and I just want everybody to understand that. But he was all upset that I wasn't vaccinated and that I was sitting next to him. And I said, first of all, you're vaccinated. What do you care if I'm not? You're supposed to be protected. And he couldn't give me an answer. He just could not give me the right answer. But you follow your own heart and your own brain, and you do what you got to do for yourself and your family, and do the research. I think it's a genetic vaccine that came out way too fast, and I'm interested in this pill that Merck has because that might show some promise as well. But I'm concerned about some of the blood clotting and inflammation that the Moderna one apparently is creating, and it's just a situation that I wish would go away. But I think the flu has gone away. Has anybody reported on people getting the flu over the last couple of years? Up to 60,000 people die a year from the flu, and I haven't heard one story about that. Anyways, more open lines when we come right back.
Coast Insiders, the new version of the Coast to Coast AM app, is now available for iPhone and now Android 4.0 and above. Listen live or on demand, anywhere, anytime. Go to coasttocoastam.com and download it today.
Parents, we've done everything we can to keep our kids safe, happy, and healthy during this pandemic. From finding the best face masks to making sure their hands are clean. And now we have the best tool to help keep them even safer. The most important thing we can do is vaccinate our kids to protect them against COVID-19. Vaccines have been proven safe and effective for children 5 and up. Talk to your child's doctor or visit myturn.ca.gov to find a vaccine near you. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
By now, you've heard the news. Boosters for Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson vaccines are available. They help keep your immunity strong and help keep you and others protected against COVID-19 and its variants. Visit myturn.ca.gov to find out if you're eligible and to find a booster near you. Let's keep each other safer and healthier this winter. Get your booster, and don't forget to get your flu shot, too. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
You're gonna have to read the details, because I'm a lady.
I don't even think this. Wait, because you're a lady? Come on. Gary and Shannon, weekdays at 10 a.m. on KFI. I literally am thunderstruck here. I am, and this is not easy for me to admit, I'm at a loss for words. Bill Handel, mornings from 6 to 10 on KFI. I have a sign in my office. Is Diet Pepsi okay? And the answer is Monopoly money okay? Bill Handel, mornings from 6 to 10 on KFI. Why don't people listen to us? The listeners listen to us. Just listen to us. Follow our lead. We know what we're talking about. John and Ken, weekdays 2 to 6 on KFI. The best way to get into trouble and cause a ruckus is to tell the truth. We know firsthand. You actually don't get in much trouble for making things up. You get in trouble when you tell the truth. John and Ken, weekdays 2 to 6 on KFI. Usually I have an answer. I always have an answer. Because I know everything. Because I should be king of the world. Bill Handel. Can you imagine? Mornings from 6 to 10 on KFI. KFI AM 640. KFI AM 640.
Not just stimulating talk, it's more. KFI.
KOSC HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County. Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Oops, she did it. I'm Andrew Caravella from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. A judge in L.A. has ended the conservatorship that has been in place for Britney Spears for almost 14 years.
People have gathered outside the courthouse in downtown L.A. in support of Britney Spears. Spears' attorney Matthew Rosengart was met with cheers as he made his way out of the courthouse.
This is a monumental day.
Rosengart says the conservatorship was corrupted by Britney's father.
James P. Spears, as we all know, from public records, took anywhere from $3 to $4 million from the estate.
He says the decision to continue to investigate her father further will be up to Spears herself. In downtown L.A., Blake Trolley, KFI News.
California is opening up COVID-19 vaccine booster shots to any adult 18 and older who thinks they need one. The State Department of Public Health says people can get the shots as long as 6 months have passed since getting the Moderna or Pfizer vaccines, or at least 2 months if they got Johnson & Johnson. It says health providers shouldn't turn away any adult asking to get the booster. Wisconsin is preparing for the verdict announcement in the trial of an 18-year-old accused of killing 2 people during protests in Kenosha last year. ABC's Jim Ryan says officials are concerned that violence could come from Kyle Rittenhouse's supporters or the people who have been pushing for his conviction.
Even before closing arguments are heard on Monday, the governor has activated 500 Wisconsin National Guard troops to help keep the peace after the jury decides the guilt or innocence of Kyle Rittenhouse.
Jurors are set to start deliberations right after closing arguments wrap up. And a famous beagle is bound for space.
Snoopy, do you copy?
Yes, Snoopy will head to space, literally. A 5-ounce Snoopy plush toy wearing a spacesuit will join 2 Lego figurines that will be on board a new rocket designed to launch humans to the moon, Mars, and beyond. The launch takes place next year from Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Snoopy has an important gig on the Artemis 1 unmanned mission since NASA uses small stuffed animals to watch when they float to show when a spacecraft has entered zero gravity. The announcement from NASA coincides with the release of Season 2 of Snoopy in Space on Apple TV+. Jennifer Jones-Lee, KFI News.
And it's warming with highs around 80 at the beaches later today, around 90 for Metro LAOC and the valleys, high 80s and low 90s for the IE. Sunday will feel about the same across the Southland. Right now, Winnetka 74, Venice 71, Santa Ana 68, and it's 65 degrees in Costa Mesa. We lead local from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Andrew Caravella.
Crash in La Mirada, northbound side of the 5. The 4 Valley View has 2 left lanes blocked. Your jams back to Beach Boulevard. Huntington Beach, all lanes closed on the northbound side of the 405. Beach Boulevard to Golden West. This is Caltrans works till around 6 o'clock this morning. Southbound side shut down on that same stretch There are detour signs in place. And then through Costa Mesa, southbound side of the 405 closed as well. Harbor to the 73 until around 6 a.m. Watch for delays as you approach the scene there. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Robert Dubucky.
What would you do with $1 million? You just might find out the answer if you are the lucky winner of the $1 Million Moment at Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel on November 29th. It's the biggest cash prize in Yamava history. One winner, $1 million. Use your Club Serrano card to participate in qualifying promotions all November long. Visit Yamava.com/million for full details, and you could become an instant millionaire in one moment. The $1 Million Moment. Only at Yamava Resort and Casino. Visit Yamava.com. Must be 21 or over to enter. Please gamble responsibly.
1877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Donate your car today with 1877 Cars for Kids. We're a recognized 501c3 charity organization, so you'll receive a maximum tax deduction. What's more, you'll receive a vacation voucher of 3 days and 2 nights. Also on the web at carsforkids.com.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Is your house earthquake ready? The Earthquake Brace and Bolt program is offering $3,000 grants to strengthen older houses against earthquake damage. Apply today at www.earthquakebracebolt.com. Registration is now open through December 1st.
Marcus by Goldman Sachs offers personal loans with no fees, ever. Banks offer coffee. So, what's more important? A Marcus by Goldman Sachs loan with no fees that could help consolidate debt, or bank coffee that tastes like bank coffee. You can money. Visit Marcus.com to learn more about saving, borrowing, and investing from Marcus by Goldman Sachs.
Investing involves risk and investments may lose value. Brokerage and investment advisory services by Goldman Sachs & Company, LLC. Member FINRA SIPC. Lending and deposits products provided by Goldman Sachs Bank USA. Member FDIC.
When Sandra doesn't talk to a Mattress Firm sleep expert, Junk Sleep presses the wrong buttons in her brain. And Sandra presses the wrong buttons in the elevator, leading to a dreadful journey for her and the accountant now headed up to floor 42. 7, 8, 9. While Sandra avoids eye contact, let's reflect on how a better mattress would have led to real sleep. If you need real sleep, head to Mattress Firm and unjunk your sleep today.
Hey, it's Neil Saavedra. You know, new windows for your home bring light, beauty, of course, efficiency. I know this firsthand because the French doors and stunning kitchen windows from American Vision Windows brought some of the most dramatic and beautiful changes to our home. Now, we all know Bill and Kathleen's story. Horrible experience when they replaced their own windows. They started their own company. So fast forward 20 years, they're still bringing warmth, light, and beauty to homes like mine. Now, for a limited time, American Vision Windows will pay the tax plus 0 payments until 2023. Tax based on materials only, on purchase of 8 or more windows, cannot be combined with any other offers, on approved credit, and some restrictions apply, like offer expires November 30th, 2021. CSLB number 778326. I recommend them to friends and family and to you. Trust the window company that I trust, my family trusts. American Vision Windows. Give them a call. Get that free estimate today. 888-226-9908. That's 888-226-9908. Or for all their specials, visit AmericanVisionWindows.com.
The pandemic is forging important changes across health and science. On Breakthrough, a new series from the Prognosis podcast, we look at the medical mysteries and the opportunities COVID is leaving in its wake, from a new condition doctors are trying to understand and treat, to how mRNA technology promises to revolutionize the fight against diseases like cancer and multiple sclerosis. Listen to Prognosis Breakthrough on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Visit McKennaCars.com before you purchase your new automobile this holiday season.
KFI, AM 640, more stimulating talk.
Use Skype name George97313. Send George a text message anytime at 818-298-6521. This is Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie.
More open lines when we come right back on Coast to Coast AM. And don't forget your scary stories, and we're getting a few of them on Coast to Coast. As we age, the fatigue and failing endurance that we feel cannot be fixed with more and more caffeine. Introducing a new way to start your day, Super Beets Heart Chews. They're a tasty treat that give you the energy you need, and they're good for you, too. No more afternoon coffees, energy drinks, or candy for a quick pick-me-up. Just add a couple delicious plant-based Super Beets Heart Chews to your morning routine and promote heart-healthy energy for the day without a caffeine crash. Super Beets Heart Chews' unique, clinically researched grapeseed extract promotes heart-healthy energy and normal blood pressure as part of a healthy lifestyle. The grapeseed extract used in Super Beet Heart Chews has been clinically shown to be 2 times as effective at supporting normal blood pressure as a healthy lifestyle all by itself. And they really taste great, too. And you get the energy that you're looking for and you need. Now, just for you, you can get up to 45% off and free shipping at noribeats.com or call 1-800-515-0053. That's 1-800-515-0053. This is a great offer available just for you. That's noribeats.com, up to 45% off at noribeats.com.
You've been lied to. Lied to by corrupt Washington politicians and the Wall Street propaganda machine. Hi, I'm Inc. magazine best-selling author Brett Kitchen, and I want to give you a free copy of my brand new book, Wealth Beyond Wall Street, because we all know another market crash could be right around the corner. After losing 35% in my IRA in the crash years ago, I said enough, and since then I discovered a way to grow money potentially double digits, reduce taxes dramatically, and also have my money protected when the next stock market crash hits. When the next market crash hits, you lose nothing. Call Wealth Beyond Wall Street now to get your free copy and talk with a specialist to discover this little-known strategy to get potential double-digit growth during good years and never lose when the next stock market crash hits, all while building a tax-advantaged retirement. Call 800-908-1616 to discover this asset that people like Walt Disney and J.C. Penney use to grow wealthy. Plus, get one of just 97 free books left. We even cover shipping and handling, no credit card required. Call 800-908-1616. That's 800-908-1616. 1-800-908-1616.
And welcome back to Coast to Coast. George Norrie back with you. Open line time on Coast to Coast. Let's go to our first-time caller, Donna, in Redding, California. Welcome to the show, Donna.
Hi, George. Am I happy to talk to you?
Well, that's great. Glad you got through.
Yeah, I have a bit of a scary story that happened to me in 1984.
All right. What happened?
Well, I was waiting for the phone repairman, and he finally got there. He says, "Hey, your phone's dead." Oh, yeah. And so he went up the pole, checked it out, came back down, and anyway, he was a bearded guy, and he shape-shifted. That's what he did. He was in his normal work clothes, like uniform.
Yeah.
And so he was just talking to me, and all of a sudden he appeared larger. His beard and hair was fuller. His eyes turned like black.
Jeez.
And he was like staring into my eyes for what seemed like forever. And
how'd you get rid of the guy?
Pardon me?
How'd you get rid of him?
Well, I haven't got rid of him yet. He possesses me.
He still comes around?
No, he's in my mind. What he did was hypnotize me when he was staring into my eyes.
Now, when he finally left, did you call the phone company and say, "Hey, this guy is strange," or something like that?
No, I was just too stunned, really. And well, after he left, he started coming into my mind and body, like little sexual feelings. He started talking to me. Like one thing is, I broke up with my husband. And anyway, my daughter, I packed her gear, and there was a toy in the box that played music, and the box was like totally wrapped up and everything, ready to be shipped, and he actually played a tune on that toy that I knew. Isn't that weird?
The whole thing's weird, to be sure.
It is.
Well, let me ask you, did he fix the phone?
Yes.
He did do that. Do you think, now, what do you think this person was?
He was a witch. He's a Jewish witch.
A practicing witch?
Yeah, and what he's done, he's possessed me to, he's like a vampire, whatever you want to call him. He sucks my life force.
Well, I got to tell you, Donna, what you need to do is to find someone who can help remove this from you, because you're obviously distraught over this individual, and if he's doing what you say he's doing, he's not going to stop. And you're going to have to find somebody who deals with these kinds of entities somewhere out there in Arizona. I'm sure there's many. And get him to help you out, or her. Because it sounds like it's occupying your life, and that's way too much. John's with us in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hey, John, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me. Love listening to your show. I'd call more often if I could.
Well, thank you. Glad you got through.
Yes, I am. I'm very glad to get through. So I have a scary tale. I'll try to shorten it down to a little bit lengthy. But to set the picture for you, it's the late 90s. I'm a teenager. And I had been working at a business where one of our coworkers had turned up murdered.
Oh, geez.
The creep factor started when she had not shown up for work for a few days, and her body was found just inside another county in an area that the local urban legends stated was a field where there was a lot of satanic activity.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
She was found stabbed and naked, left in this field. So about a week after this happened, being a dumb teenager and a little bit morbid, me and a few friends jumped in my old Dodge I had at the time. Pretty sweet Dodge. I gotta add that, old 64, souped up a little bit.
Beautiful car.
And we took a ride up to this area just to drive by. Well, as we got there was an old beat up gray car, and I was like, I wonder who this is. Well, this big, it's kind of like your last caller, this big burly guy with wild hair and a beard came running out to the car and jumped in it and began chasing us.
Geez, just out of nowhere, just chasing.
Just came running out of the field to that car. There was a gate. You couldn't drive all the way in it, and he came running out and jumped in the car. Because by that time we had started to turn around because we saw him coming out and didn't know what his business was, and we didn't want to find out.
No police in the area, nothing like that, huh?
Nothing. And this is kind of off the beaten trail. At the time, there wasn't a lot of traffic where this occurred. It's more built up now and whatnot. But back then, nobody was out there. You had to have a reason to go out there. You know what I'm saying? And to quote the Blues Brothers, when we realized he was coming after him, it was Our Lady of Blessed Acceleration, Don't Tell Me Now. And I found out how much that pedal could go down. And we left him in the dust and got gone. So obviously we were scared. We didn't know what that was about. About 2 weeks after that, it was revealed that it was her husband that had killed her and had purposely took her body out there to try and take advantage of the urban legends and the alleged satanic activity.
Oh.
And when I saw the newspaper ad and the stuff on the TV news, it was the guy that chased us.
That was the guy. Before they got him as a suspect, he was out there.
Yes, he was back at the scene before he was identified.
Do you know how lucky you were? My God.
I don't want to think about what his intentions were, but definitely, like I said, I'm glad I had a 4-barrel and a V8 because we were gone.
So what, did he get convicted, do you know?
Yes. As far as I know, he's doing life in prison for that.
And he should be.
He should be. That's true. It was just a creepy deal, and I learned a lesson that don't go poking around where you don't need to be.
That's a good point, John. Thanks for the story. Bill in Los Angeles. Take it away, Bill.
How you doing, George?
Good. Welcome to the show.
Hey, when I was thinking, when somebody, because I'm a former journalist, when somebody finally writes your obituary, let's say 50 years from now, right, I think they should call you the Ed Sullivan of late night radio. What do you think about that?
Except I have more of a personality than Ed Sullivan did.
Well,
He was
yeah,
kind of
people-
stiff, right?
Well, a little bit, but he, he had the reputation of, okay, it's going to be a certain way. You're not going to use bad language.
That's right.
Offend people. So it's not a I mean, it's a compliment actually.
The Ed Sullivan of late night radio. That's interesting.
I mean, that's quite a comparison, I think.
Well, his show ran for years and years and years.
Right.
He was very successful, and he had every emerging artist, Elvis Presley, all of them.
Oh, yeah.
You go through the Ed Sullivan show and hit it big, you're on your way.
Exactly. So, nobody ever said bad things about him as a person, or, and they knew what the rules were, and if they broke the rules, they never were on the show again, and everybody thought that was fair. So I think that would be a good obit comparison for you, assuming you ever have an obit.
Yeah, don't kill me off yet, Billy. Not yet.
Hey, by the way, I'm not an atheist, but last night I got to give Walter kudos because he really blew your guests out of the water just by cutting to the chase and saying, that what that guy was saying was basically religion, which he's entitled to, but it was not scientific philosophy. I mean,
Hey, by the way, have you been following the story of the LAX flyer? They think it was a balloon that looked like a man.
Yeah, I know. After I called you, it's just, I don't know if somebody was listening to us talk about that.
I think you're right.
Yeah, for the next week, it just wouldn't go away.
It was everywhere. Okay, Bill, are you still reporting these days?
No, I wrote something a few years ago, but I've given up on the mainstream media. I just think they're liars, and I'm sorry to say that, but as I said before, your show has more balanced information than the mainstream newspapers and media.
Oh, that's true, and people like you add a lot to the program, so thank you for what you do for us.
Well, thank you.
All right, you take care. Text and tweets. Tom, what do you have back there?
How about this? From Jason in Kentucky, who do you consider the top 2 most talented singers alive or dead?
I would say Frank Sinatra, though he wasn't the greatest voice, but he had charisma and sparkle and, helped build Las Vegas and stuff. So I would say Sinatra. The other ones, I like so many of them. Whitney Houston was great. Paul Anka's still alive. He's good. Tony Bennett.
In terms of straight talent,
Nat King Cole was great. I mean, they're all, I couldn't pick. Honestly, I'd put Sinatra in the group, but I couldn't pick a second one because all of them are great. Bobby Darin, all of them are good.
It's a tough question.
And you know what I love? Our live events. And let me ask you something about that for just a second.
Okay.
Well, tentatively, how many are we planning in 2022?
4, and that's only because there's not physical time to do anymore.
When will we start announcing them?
Probably January.
Okay, because we'd like to get 5 months head start on something like that.
Yeah, we got some cool surprises we're working on.
How do you find the bands that I sing with at these events?
Honestly?
Yeah.
Well, since we all go in different cities, and I don't live in the cities, I literally just look up jazz bands. I take a shot, I call a band, I get a feeling talking to the guy, and I've been lucky so far. We've had great bands.
And then you send them YouTube versions of what I'm going to sing, and
so they get used to it. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. All of them have been great.
Yeah, we've been lucky with bands.
It's been fun. Everett was just a huge success.
Oh, goodness. I'm still hearing people say how much fun they had.
They had a great time. In this COVID era, they had a great time.
Yeah, and you know what? The way we did the meet and greet, we kind of distanced ourselves and just had roving microphones, so I think it helped people to get up and ask their questions.
The old meet and greets, people I'm in line and people come up to me, and, we're like 2 inches away from each other.
But we would shake everybody's hand.
Absolutely. So, but I think people understood why we had to do what we did this time.
I agree with you. I think they did, and more people got to ask questions to people.
Yep,
so it worked out.
All right, let's go back to final open lines here. Roger, truck driving in Chicago. Hey, Raj.
Good evening. Hey, you used to have a guest on Joe Salenti that works on patterns. He said he figured out patterns on everything.
Yes, the economist from the East Coast.
Well, I've looked into all these past from the 1582 outbreak 1859 flu, 1889 Russian flu, Spanish flu, Asian flu, Hong Kong flu, SARS, and H1N1. They all have a pattern, so.
Yeah, well, they all originate from China.
No, they have the first three flus I mentioned all tied to solar radiation.
Really?
And if you know what keeps solar radiation away from the Earth, it's a combination between the magnetosphere and the ionosphere.
That's
What we
interesting.
did during the Spanish flu in 1918, we built a bunch of high power AM transmitters that would reach the ionosphere. And in 1920, when the Spanish flu quit, they went to directional antennas. So no longer were they punching holes in the ionosphere, they were broadcasting the way they wanted to.
You think that had a lot to do with it? That's an interesting take. I'm going to check into that, Raj. Thanks. Ron in Berrien Springs, Michigan. Ronald, take it away.
Hello, George. George, you were talking about Max Freeland. In his run for the Senate, he was smeared, called a Al-Qaeda terrorist affiliate by his Republican opponent. And this goes to the what I wanted to talk about with the Twilight Zone, and my favorite episode in which it was the Civil War, and the Confederates come upon a devil, an old man devil, and they don't know it at first, but he has the power to conjure the Union soldiers all paralyzed. And it is the end of the war, coming to the end, and the Confederates, the group there, they are trying to decide, will we use the devil and win the war, and or will we just let the natural course, God, take its course? And they're about ready to accept the devil and his word, and then at the last moment they say no, and they burn the book. And this is what, in my opinion, the Republicans have done. They have taken up the book of the devil. They have conjured up the evil forces of the Ku Klux Klan, the Civil War. They have conjured up their Nazi flag waving, their insurrection. They have conjured the devil, and he is willingly will take them to the power that they want. But I do not believe that the goodness of the world, of heaven, will allow this devil to continue.
Interesting take here. Well, look, let me say this. There are good Democrats, there are good Republicans, there are bad Democrats, there are bad Republicans, there are good liberals, there are bad liberals, there are good conservatives, there are bad conservatives, there are good libertarians, there are bad libertarians. It's just a strange, strange thing. Politics is, we try to minimize that, by the way, but with so much going on in the world these days, you can't ignore it. I mean, when we broadcast live on election night, you got to report on the election. You just have to do it. It's just part of what's going on. But this is the strangest time I think I've ever remembered in my life, ever. But I'm not sure, Ron, they're the devil. But there's some lousy politicians and there's some darn good ones, too. Next up, let's go to Donna, Casa Grande, Arizona. Welcome to the show. Hi, Donna.
Hi, George.
How are you? Only got a few minutes for you, so take it away.
My favorite show. I've been listening since '98 with Art Spell and Mel Toll. So.
It's out
anyway,
there.
Hey, what I want you to check out, remember the Rat Tax thing that you had on, like, I don't know, 5 months ago or
Yep.
Well, anyway, the first caller, like, after that show was Joe from Long Island, and right after he asked his question, there was, like, an EVP, and it sounded demonic, and I thought it was my radio, but your show, like, repeats itself here, so I listen to it twice every night, and it came through again. So listen to that tape, and right after Joe asked his question in Long Island, there's an EVP. It sounds demonic. It's not Frank Sinatra. It might be the mob guy or something, but
Yeah, that's
it was
right.
really freaky and scary.
Not Frank at all. Okay, we'll do that. Thanks, Donna. Appreciate it. And let's see, how much time do we have for another quick call? We might not have time for any more calls right now because in a moment Lynn Ketai is going to join us to talk about the Phoenix Lights. A couple of years ago I talked with her about the 20th anniversary, but we'll get we'll get into that as well. But let's go through some of the business at hand, by the way. Tomorrow and Sunday, Connie Willis will be doing the program for you. Then I'll be back on Monday. We've got a full list of programs for you. On Monday, we're going to be talking about pesticides and what's happening to us, and also the science behind alien encounters. On Tuesday, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. joins us to talk about his book called The Real Anthony Fauci, Bill Gates, Big Pharma, and the Global War on Democracy and Public Health. I will ask him about Sirhan because he endorsed the upcoming parole of Sirhan. He's not been paroled yet, but the parole board has recommended that he be paroled. We'll see what the governor of California does there. But Robert F. Kennedy is our special guest on Tuesday. And of course, he is the son of the late Robert F. Kennedy Sr., who passed away by assassin in 1968 as well. So, got a great week of shows for you. And all you got to do is go up to the coasttocoastam.com website and get all the latest information for you, because it's all laid out there for you. And we will be back in just a moment on Coast to Coast AM.
Coast Insiders, the new version of the Coast to Coast AM app, is now available for iPhone and now Android 4.0 and above. Listen live or on demand anywhere, anytime. Go to coasttocoastam.com and download it today.
KFI, news on the hour, on the half, and when it breaks.
I'm Andrew Caravella from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. The LA City Council has voted to tweak its new rule requiring people to show proof they're fully vaccinated against COVID-19 to go into indoor restaurants, gyms, and many other businesses. The ordinance has been changed so only people 12 and older will need to show proof instead of those 5 and older. The rule went into effect Monday but will not be enforced until November 29th. A man who recently went to space with actor William Shatner has been killed in a small plane crash in New Jersey. Glenn DeVries was the CEO of a company that billed itself as the world's most used platform for clinical research trials. He went on the historic space flight last month in which Shatner became the oldest man in space. DeVries died yesterday along with another man on the plane. He was 49. KFI weather, highs around 80 at the beaches, around 90 for Metro LAOC and the valleys. High 80s and low 90s for the Inland Empire. We lead local. From the KFI 24-hour newsroom, I'm Andrew Caravella.
Crash in La Mirada on the northbound side of the 5 before Valley View has been cleared off the freeway now, but we have a new problem in Burbank on the southbound side of the 5 before San Fernando Boulevard. Crash in the middle lane, and that's actually back up all the way to Buena Vista. In Huntington Beach, all lanes closed on the northbound side of the 405 Beach Boulevard to Golden West. Caltrans worked till around 6 o'clock this morning. Southbound side shut down in the same stretch with some delays there. And then through Costa Mesa, all lanes closed on the 405 South Harbor to the 73 until 6 a.m. as well. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Robert Sabucky.
Wendy's new Big Bacon Cheddar Cheeseburgers has more bacon and more cheese on a cheddar bun. What do other places have? Let me see. Get more bacon cheeseburgers. Order the Big Bacon Cheddar through the Wendy's app. Participating Wendy's contract downloading registration required. In the Army National Guard, family means everything.
Our parents were really supportive that all 5 of us would join. I got my education because of the Guard. I got to travel a little bit and experience a whole different culture. It helped me get my job, helped me pay for my house.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard instills pride that you and your family will share. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the California Army National Guard. Aired by the California Broadcasters Association and this station. Hey, you don't have to wait for Veterans Day to thank a veteran. Thank a vet today. And now, the top 5 reasons to visit Morocco.
Come and get your wild stuff. Wall burgers, wall brewskis, wall bites. All the wall things have wall burgers.
Number 4.
Thanksgiving is special giveaway. Get a handy toaster oven when you earn 500 points on your rewards card. The 15th or 16th. Yes, that is a 30-foot LED screen with games on it every Sunday at Sideline Bar. Next question, please.
And the number 2.
Rock Flow, live December 4th. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours today.
And the number 1 reason.
Seats full of dollars. You can win $500 cash playing table games with your rewards card. Wednesdays and Thursdays, 3 p.m. to midnight.
Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Morongo. Time.
Donate your car at Parts of the Cat. Pick up is quick and easy. You'll also get a vacation voucher and a tax collection.
Also accepting real estate donations.
Contractor license 1023-790. Kenny, I heard Gettle Air Conditioning has an irresistible offer for everyone out in Radio Land.
We do, Zach. We do.
Well, tell me about it. Reduce